You decide. Take a look.
It's that time of the year when you and your family abound in festivities. It's Diwali time and you are bound to lay your hands on those tempting and delicious sweets. The very sight of those sweets make you go crazy, and not to talk about their taste. But it's a big but. Are those tempting and delicious sweets healthy? Are they prepared in hygienic conditions? And are they prepared in concord with the norms issued by the department concerned? You pay hundreds of rupees to purchase them, but how safe are they to consume? Are you buying poison disguised in the form of sweets? Well, in order to find out answers to these questions, we at News9 decided to carry out a reality check and bring you closer to reality. You might have seen our reality checks on the small sweet shops across the city and the unhygienic conditions prevalent there. But this time, it was different. Generally, there is a stereotype that the sweets bought at high prices, available under big and prestigious names, are very healthy to eat. So we decided to focus our cameras on some big names in the industry. New Arya Bhavan, Upparpet. Now who doesn't know New Arya Bhavan? Those sumptuous Rasagullas, jalebis, laddus, mouth-watering, aren't they? And Arya Bhavan is one brand that has been in the industry for a very long time and created a marquee name for itself. And this is the first shop we decided to carry out our reality check. As we entered, our eyes fell on those fresh and shining pieces of ice barfi. Green in color, we couldn't resist the temptation of munching on them and ordered half a kilogram. Well, we have shown a number of times on our channel how dangerous it is to add unnecessary colors to edible food stuff. But these vendors simply don't seem to care about it. And if you munch on these sweets innocently and fall sick, these vendors seem to have the attitude that it is your and your problem alone. Do they really care? Adiyar Ananda Bhavan, Balepet. From New Arya Bhavan, we next proceeded to Adiyar Ananda Bhavan in Balepet. Just like New Arya Bhavan, this too is quite famous a brand. As we entered, we could see sweets placed in order in attractive glass cases. If ice barfi caught our attention in Arya Bhavan, here it was the Motichur barfi. We could never take our eyes off those bright orange pieces. Again, they seemed like they were bathed excessively in unhealthy color. So we asked the vendor whether it was good for us. Just have a listen to what he said.
ದಿನ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಟಿವಿನಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಕಲರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಟಿವಿ ಹಾಕೋ ಕಲರ್ ಬೇರೆನಾ? ನೀವೇನು ಹಾಕೋದು ಕಲರ್? ತಿನ್ನೋ ಕಲರ್ ಇದು.
It must be said at this point that we have reported many times on how dangerous it is to use such harmful colors. And it is not that Ananda Bhavan is not aware of the consequences of using such colors, but it is a strategy to make the sweets look more attractive and hence increase their business. Sweets, Majestic. From Ananda Bhavan in Balepet, we next went to Kanti Sweets, which is at a stone's throw away distance from Ananda Bhavan. If it was Ice Barfi in New Arya Bhavan and Motichur Barfi in Adiyar Bhavan, here it was Coconut Barfi. And know what? None of the sweets available here are priced below 300 rupees. But the big question is, in spite of paying such a huge amount, are you assured of getting good and healthy sweets? That's something we will tell you later on this show. KC Das, St. Mark's Road. If you want to get a taste of those pristine Roshagullas, Sandesh and even Motichur Laddus, you can't think of a better shop than KC Das. During festival time, the demand for Motichur Laddus goes sky high. So to check the quality of the Laddus, we purchased half a kilogram of them. Apart from these famous brands, we also paid a visit to some other sweet shops in the city. We then submitted samples of these sweets to experts, who then subjected these samples to chemical tests.
From Rasagullas to Motichur Laddus, we got them all, not to savor them, but to test them. And we were disappointed with the results, because these are sweet shops and these are brands that we go to thinking that the more we pay, the more healthier it is, the more safer it is. But how safe are these sweets gotten from these shops? We will tell you right here on News9, a live demo in our News9 studios on these sweets and the results right in front of your own eyes. But before that, the big question that we are asking you today: have you bought sweets this Diwali? Do you plan to give sweets to your loved and near and dear ones? How safe are they? Do you know how safe are they? Are you confused? Call us in. Let us know what are your plans this Diwali when it comes to giving sweets to someone very close to you. Are you giving them sweets or are you giving them poison? You can call us in and let us know. We will share your thoughts with our panelists. We will also show you a live demo of how the tests are conducted on these sweets and the results in front of your own eyes. On the other side of this break, stay with us.
दस करोड़ की दिवाली आज गिरियाज.
Buy your favorite television and home appliances now and avoid heavy Diwali rush. If any price difference on Diwali, Girias will refund it.
It's a गिरियाज guarantee.
Rush to your nearest Girias store now.
Wiz presents Diwali Dhamaka. Discounts, gift offers and photo classes. Rush to your nearest Wiz outlet today.
This festive season, buy jewelry only from Malabar Gold. Exciting gifts and special privileges also await you. Lights of India. 1,000 traditions, one emotion. Malabar Gold. Beauty meets quality.
करोड़पति बनना है तो चिल मचाओ, शॉर्टकट लगाओ।
अब 7up की बड़ी बोतल है 1 करोड़ का शॉर्टकट। लेबल के पीछे दिए सवाल का सही जवाब दो और आप जीत सकते हो 1 करोड़ और कई एक्साइटिंग प्राइजेस। 7up
1 करोड़ का शॉर्टकट।
There is transportation, and then there is excellence in transportation. The Mahindra Navistar Transport Excellence Awards. To participate or for more information, log on to mnexcellence.com.
Get perfect zoom clarity with Super Image Stabilizer. Super clear with Super Zoom. Cybershot.
Sony.
Sri Vinayaka Jewelry and Silk Sarees. Attractive jewelry, diamond ornaments, silver articles, mind-blowing silk sarees. Sri Vinayaka Jewelry and Silk Sarees in front of Katte Vinayaka Temple, Keapuram, Bengaluru.
Here is the kingdom of attraction and grandeur.
Why dream small? Move up to sedan class in the all-new Vista. The style of a sedan. The space of a sedan. The power of a sedan. The features of a sedan. The all-new Vista. Sedan class.
He enjoyed sending vulgar messages to women. He almost broke a new marriage. That is when cops stepped in. Wanted.
This program is co-sponsored by
Malabar Gold. Beauty meets quality.
You've been planning this particular shopping for quite some time. In fact, you've also made a list of your family members that you want to send sweets this Diwali. A father may be buying sweets for his daughter who's been married recently. But what is he buying? Is he buying sweets or is it poison disguised as sweets? These are the questions that we try to answer. We are going to show you how the answers were arrived at. Let me get George, the Chief Technical Officer from the Ramaya Drug Testing Lab. Now, George, when a box of sweets comes to you, what are the things that we are looking at? What are we testing it for, basically?
See, obviously, when it comes to us, the primary reason to check if it's adulterated or not. And adulteration basically is of three types. In specific reference to the sweets, the first type is adulteration of color, where either a banned color has been added or too much of the color is added above the permissible limit. The second part is adulteration with respect to ingredients. So as far as this is concerned, what we will be checking is whether the specific ingredients like ghee, butter, khoa, mawa, whatever has gone into that specific product, whether that is of a pure form or not. And the third part that we would be checking is adulteration with respect to manufacture, storage and distribution. And that is whether the product has been manufactured and stored or distributed in a microbially safe environment. Okay. Because microbial contamination is what causes us to fall ill. So these are the three areas where we check.
We're looking at color, we're looking at hygiene. In fact, we have those sweet boxes here in our News9 studio. You can see them. They're very colorful, they're very bright. And it's very interesting why they're so colorful and bright. I'll get Tara in on this. Now Tara, there is a feeling that children are attracted to bright colors, and the brighter it is, normally children tend to get attracted towards such sweets.
I will not even say children. I think everybody are attracted to color. You will not go wear white and black dress all the time, right? So you tend to get attracted to the kind of colors around us, all of us. So it's important for us to eat. There's food safety colors, like he said, George said. There's standards which they have to maintain within the limit. Like Nagraj will elaborate on that. It's very important. First is our looks, how the food is presented to us. So the main attraction, what all the sweet makers do is, they go in for different kind of colors without even knowing the safety how to use it. So I would definitely say that color is one of the important factor. Otherwise all the sweets are going to look the same. So it's important to get into that.
Color is a differentiating factor. They all look the same. Raghu, surprised with some of the brand names that we tried to test. These are some of the who's who of Bengaluru sweet industry.
Yes. I would say that this is not a retail problem. It's a wholesale problem across the country. From Meerut to Mangalore, you go anywhere in the country. So there's a massive, what I would say, blatant violation of Basic Food Adulteration Act. Now, recently, Indian Institute of Toxicological Research in Lucknow did scan large number of samples for particularly sweets across the country, and they found nearly 60% of the sweets contain banned colors or excess colors than the allowed limit.
We will show that. We will show that today on News9 exactly what he's talking about. In fact, I have Sunil and also have Srinivas here, their assistant to George. George, if you can just take us through the test that you're planning to conduct here, and what will this test determine with respect to these sweets?
See, when the samples were brought to our lab for testing, frankly, we didn't have too much time at our disposal. So what we did is we opted for the rapid test, which is prescribed by the government authorities for as far as the protocol or procedure goes. Rapid test to determine whether ABC, which should not be present in the sweet, is present or not. So the first thing that we did was to check if there are any adulteration, if there is adulteration with respect to ingredients. So one common thing that we have seen, read or experienced over the last many years is that in most of these sweets, starch is added as a filler. So you claim that my sweets are pure ghee sweets, but invariably when the margin and economics come in, some amount of starch, like she was saying, is probably coming in through the wholesale or through the bulk market. So really the manufacturers or the sweet shops are not to blame for this, but fact is that it is there. How does it come in? That is up to the government to find out. Okay. But what we do is, we have seen this starch is present universally in most of the sweets, cutting across brands. So that's the first test we did. The test is very simple. Most schoolboys, schoolgirls would know it. We learnt it when we were very small, so it's a very common test. And the test is basically, it's called the iodine test. So starch is soluble in hot water. Fat and ghee obviously are not. So we add water to the sweet sample and then we boil it. Whatever portion of starch is there, it would come into the hot water, and then we add a spot of iodine to that extract. And if starch is present in it, it would turn blue. Okay. So this is a confirmatory test for the presence of starch.
Okay. I see the test tubes there, and it's already got some liquid in it. Can you just take us through what exactly is there in those test tubes now?
Yeah, we have actually drawn samples from all the 4 products that were given to us, and we have added water to that sample and boiled it so that if starch is present, it gets extracted into the water. And now, once it is boiled and extracted, we are going to add some iodine to it to see if there is a color change to blue.
Okay. So basically you've taken the sweet samples. In fact, you can see those samples on the desk. These samples have been put into these test tubes. They have now been boiled. You can see them. They are boiled at this point. And the idea is to test for starch content. Correct, George?
Absolutely.
And when you add iodine, what exactly, how is the differentiator, iodine, the turning of the color?
See, if you see that the water obviously would take the color of the sweet, or it would be colorless. And when you add iodine to it, if starch is present in it, it will get a deep blue color.
Okay, in fact, you can see those droplets of iodine being added to one of the samples, and if there is starch in that sample, you can see it turning blue. So clearly, this is an indicator. How dangerous are these, Thara, when you talk about starch in sweets? Like you said, economics, cutting corners?
See, basically, like, what do you call pure ghee sweets, which is made out of pure ghee. Like, to get economical means the person who's selling sweets would definitely look at the profit. He's not going to look at your health. Which again and again, I think last year also we discussed on that, where the government is just sitting on it. We have seen in Lucknow where 60% of the sweets are adulterated, where the starch is definitely is not good if you ingest that with the sweets. So that adulterant, it is definitely a big no to the sweets. So it's important for us to understand that what is the right amount of food ingredient has to be added to get the right kind of sweet.
In fact, we'll just look at that particular testing which has just taken place there. There are different sweets. You can see, yes, that.
So you can see that this is a very simple test that we have done. Obviously, the reason for it is because, when a sample comes to the lab, quite often the consumer doesn't know what has happened inside the laboratory. So when we tell him or her that A or B is present, the first thing that comes to his mind is it true or not? So this is why we agreed to cooperate with your channel, and I congratulate your channel for having the guts to take this online. So you can see that this is exactly what we do in the lab. If you had seen the pre-shot, this test tube the solution had taken the color of the sweet, and the top water portion was colorless. And the moment we added iodine to it, you can see it's taken a deep blue color.
So that means there is a lot of starch in that.
Absolutely, without doubt. The color is so intense that I leave it to the customer to decide whether what is being done is fair or not.
What is being done is fair or not? Is this fair? You're buying sweets or are you buying poison? That is a question customers need to ask themselves. We are testing these sweet products right here in our News9 studios, and you can see how the color has changed, the extent of that particular adulteration that has taken place there. Who is to be blamed? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the consumer who's buying it, believing that big names, big brands means a big safety? Another test taking place in front of my eyes. I can see the color changing. It was yellow, it's now becoming blue. Right in front of your own eyes.
It's happened right in front of your eyes. The bottom portion is still yellow because I haven't shaken it. The top portion to which the iodine has added, this is a second sample of sweet which was collected and brought to us. You can see very clearly that as I shake it gradually, the blue gets distributed across the entire sample. There you are.
And if it doesn't react, what exactly happens?
So this is a sample to which I have added, this is the sample which probably could be negative. We'll find out.
Well, it turns blue, it is iodine. When you add iodine, it turns blue. That shows the presence of a starch. So clearly,
you can see that this is a sample which does not have starch in it.
Okay.
And thereby it is not changed to this color. So this is called a positive control, and this is a negative control, which means that this is to evidence to the person who is doing the test and to the person who is watching the test that the blue coloration is not because the analyst has added something or the analyst has done something wrong, but very clearly if there is starch it would have turned blue as it has in this case, and if there is no starch it would not turn blue as you very clearly see in this case.
Well, there are some of the reputed brands in the city. We are testing it right here in our studio. Quickly coming to you, Raghu, on this. With respect to starch now, are we looking at different milk-based sweets? Are there any specific sweets that consumers should avoid this Diwali because adulteration might be high?
No, as far as starch is concerned, it's not harmful. It's just a question of low price thing being substituted for a high price thing. But after all, 60% of the energy has to come from starch. Let's be frank about it. And many of the organs in the body use only energy from starch, nothing else. Because it's, the glucose that we get is coming from the starch. But it's only a question of economy. That the low price starch is being added to something high price, could be ghee or something else. But I think the serious issue is the color of these sweets, which are obvious. You don't need a naked eye would tell that you need to avoid these kind of bright colors. It is clear index that even the 8 of the permitted colors, even if they are permitted colors, this is too much to consume because 100 mg, 100 ppm is the limit. So okay. That is the thing.
I'll do a quick indicator there. I'll ask my camera person to look at those sweets there, if you can pan to those sweets that are present there. All of them very bright and colorful. Raghu, I'll put you on the spot there. If given a choice among those sweets, which would you avoid? Basically,
none I would buy.
Any colored sweet?
None. No, not exactly colored. See, color, actually, there, of course, the color, every color in nature is an index of antioxidants. It's a powerful nutrition. Color speaks of a bountiful nutrition. But in this case, see, man has learned the art of fooling all his senses. The nose with the flavor, the tongue with the ajinomoto, the color, the artificial colors with his eyes. Animals wouldn't touch this food.
Animals wouldn't touch this food, but humans are touching it. In fact, you might have touched it. Your loved one might be touching it as we speak, and you know not what he is consuming. That is the tragedy as we celebrate Deepavali. The question is, will you be wishing Happy Diwali and giving a box of sweets? Are you going to do that? Think again. We are going to a small break now. On the other side, the question to you, have you bought sweets this Diwali? Do you know how safe they are? If you're not sure, call us in. We will try to throw some light on it. On the other side, we'll do some more tests on these sweets. This is not just all the tests. This is just a test to understand starch content, that is adulteration in food content with respect to that particular sweet box. But there are more tests. The biggest test about color and how it can affect babies, how it can affect you and me. On the other side, on News9. Stay with us.
Wiz presents Diwali Dhamaka. Discounts, gift offers and photo classes. Rush to your nearest Wiz outlet today.
At Fiat, when we create things with passion, magic happens. Now, magic starts at rupees 3.87 lakhs.
your style. Bio.
Mirinda.
पागल बंदी का perfect match.
Mirinda.
The most memorable moments of my wedding are mine. Brides of India, mine diamonds from Malabar Gold.
Feel the power of a digital SLR. Canon EOS.
Canon.
Sorry, we're closing.
Maruti Suzuki Alto, आपका नया सर्च इंजन।
These children don't attend school.